Hi, Jim Romer with your Weather Wealth newsletter. We'll be talking to you today about the corn market and why we predicted more than 2 or 3 months ago yet another summer bear market in corn. We'll be looking at my weather forecast techniques, how I've second guessed models continuously for farmers and traders around the world. Don't be fooled again if you didn't hedge some of your corn 40, 50 cents higher than this, or you're believing weather models by amateur meteorologists about another hot, dry July. Download a free report all about corn pollination weather. July is the heartbeat for the U.S. corn crop as far as yields go. We're going to talk about that here a little bit right now. So basically, a lot of models about 2 months ago were predicting a hot, dry July there on the left. And what we do here at Weather Wealth is second guess models, give you updates very quickly before the trade often reacts. We have weather spiders from corn, the soybeans, coffee, natural gas, you name it. And we have scales, anti-herd mentality, or people heavily short or long a market. Global crop scores, the chart pattern recognition. You add them all together. Really, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had a -7 score, catching this last 20 or 30 cent move down in corn. As a matter of fact, really, back in April, one trade alone, like being short corn, the last 50 cents here, pays for the newsletter for more than a year. And we do this for all markets, in options and futures and ETFs. We became bearish corn again near the highs. We'll certainly send you one of those sample newsletters if you want to see our recommendation from a few months ago. Why? Well, because of our prediction, even back in April, a -5 score of a record harvest for the second corn crop in Brazil. So back then, the pattern recognition was actually bullish. Our score was a total -5. You add up all these scores together. When the charts became more bearish and July weather was more obvious a couple of weeks ago, it became more of a -7. Yes, people are heavily short the market. How low will corn grow? Will there be a post-harvest rally? How about La Nina forming again later this year? Maybe a bull market because of an Argentina drought. We'll give you all this information at a discount if you're a farmer or a small trader. So how do I predict the bear market in corn? We all know that generally July rainfall and temperatures in the Midwest affect corn yields the most. As a matter of fact, about 30% of the yield or more is made there on the left. If you add those together between July precipitation and also temperatures. Matter of fact, models predicting hot weather. We second guessed this a few weeks ago. Look at the normal, the cool temperatures here over the next 2 weeks, right during the critical time of the year of pollination. There to the right? The impact of precipitation when you have above normal precipitation and below normal temperatures, you tend to see 1 to 2 standard deviations to the right there above normal yields. Obviously, droughts to the left and also hot weather. You see standard deviations and lower yields there, the trending curve going to the left. Like back in 83 or 88 or 2011, 2012, we had a major bull market in corn, but not this year, certainly. So my forecast here from a couple months ago used these teleconnections from my in-house program. Global angular momentum, the SOI index, which typically suggests La Nina forming, but we second guessed that using an El Nino neutral phenomenon and something we call a negative EPO index, a block north of Alaska. That has brought the normal to cool temperatures down for July for the Corn Belt, offsetting any occasional weak La Nina signal. And you can see there from a month or two ago, normal to above normal rainfall there in blue over the Corn Belt was my prediction. That's how we anticipate this last 30 or 40 cent move down in corn over the last month or two. As a matter of fact, all the heat's around the Midwest to the Northeast and maybe parts of the Southwest based on these teleconnections. But look right in the middle, the second or third summer in a row, a blessing for Midwestern corn farmers with normal temperatures. The EPO index, okay, that warm block at 15,000 feet or so over and north of Alaska tends to bring fronts down across the Corn Belt, banging up against the ridge. You can see how the EPO goes negative and how I second-guessed models a few weeks ago. And as a result, normal to cool temperatures there on the right with a negative EPO index, which is more important than any other teleconnection other than La Nina, which does not exist right now for the month of July. How about bull markets in corn? We all know 83 there on the left, 1998, 2012, 2011 not shown there, tend to happen when the index is highest, a combination of heat and dryness. When the index is lowest, there to the right, you tend to see yields there. Look at that, 5, 15, 25% above trend line. We will fall somewhere in that category. That means probably sub $4 corn here shortly, or certainly by harvest. Bull markets again. When you have the heat and dryness there on the left, and the highest stress score on the left, of course, is 2012, 1988, and many other years. One market that seasonally offsets the bearishness in the corn market is wheat. After bottoming during harvest, usually during June, we tend to see a July rally in wheat. Will that market continue to rally here? Have we bottomed in wheat? Subscribe to Weather Wealth and get all the latest reports that I've sent out over the last few months. You get 100 issues a year for all ag commodities and natural gas. Here's one from 2 or 3 weeks ago. Sticking to my guns, being bearish most ag commodities. Coffee, we caught a 20% move down recently, as well as sugar a while ago. And corn, particularly over the last couple months at least. Will the bear market continue? Will things change? That guy's chasing me, but I'm wearing my hat. It's going to somehow force him away. I don't know. That hat has repellent on it. I don't know. Will things change in August? Subscribe to Weather Wealth. I'm going to give you a big discount if you are a farmer or small trader. Enjoy.